This week on the RC Shop, we continue work on the vintage Gremlin build, giving it some much needed hood clearance, and Frank starts a new project. I don't think you want to miss that. Previously, we built a V8 motor for the Gremlin's engine bay and had a few issues when it came to installing it. Well, the guys in the garage, they took care of that. Let's take a look. They started by moving the shock towers and shocks out 6mm to make room for the headers. They also had to cut a portion of the engine block out in order to clear a cross member. With these two small modifications, the engine and transmission assembly were able to simply slide right into place. The front mounted servo installed without any issues. But we're still going to have to make final adjustments to the steering linkage and the panhard bar. The guys did a great job taking care of the motor install issues, and it's really starting to come together. With the motor installed, it's time to start thinking about mounting the body. There's going to be a ton of bodywork needed, and I'd like to go ahead and get that process started. So I go ahead and have the guys slide the body onto the frame to exactly where it's going to be located. I'm going to go ahead and throw the hood on also, and well, we've got a problem. The hood won't close due to the motor sitting too high. I'm guessing we're at least 3/4 of an inch shy of clearing. Well, this is an unexpected issue. When I ordered the transmission in the mounting kit, I really expected it to work. This one's on me, so I guess it's on me to fix it. As far as I can figure, I've got two options. Either lower the motor, which is going to require a lot of chassis work and a lot of time, or raise the hood. I'm going with the hood option, and I start by 3D printing a mock-up hood cowl. I'll use it for fitment and to mark the cuts I'll need to make in the hood. The cowl mock-up I'm using is a rough 3D print I made from a model I created in Tinkercad. This is a cheap and fast way to check for fitment and to mark those cut lines you need. Speaking of cut lines, let's get this thing cut out. I'm using tape to help better define where I need to cut to. And I'm cutting short of the line. And there's our rough cut hood. I just want to remind you guys, anytime you're cutting anything, to make sure and wear your safety glasses to protect your eyes, and also wear a mask. The cuts will make a lot of dust, and you don't want that in your lungs. All right, PSA is done. Now I need to clean up these cuts. I start by cleaning a little by hand, and then it's time to start the grueling sanding process. And we are done. A nice clean square cut. The sanding is grueling, but worth it in the end. Now I just need to put it in place and see if all the measuring and cutting we did gave us the clearance we needed. Looks pretty good. Before we move on, I want to emphasize how important it is to cut short of the line and then sand to it. It seems like more work in the beginning, but when you're making that cut and you make one slip up, you're going to have way more work and way more time on your hands. Plus this plastic, it sands very easily with coarse grit sandpaper. Okay, moving forward. I've gone ahead and 3D printed the final cowl we're going to be using. I made a few small changes to the model, but for the most part it's the same as the mock-up cowl, so it should fit right in place just like the mock-up did. I'm making sure to hold everything square, and I'm using CA glue to bond the cowl to the hood. I'm using it liberally. I want it to seep into the seams for a solid bond. And I'll use some accelerator to move things along. I'm going to do the same process down both sides of the cowl. I'll use CA around the entire back side of the cowl, and we'll clean up the underside of the hood at a later date. But now I want to go ahead and start molding the cowl into the hood using finishing glaze body filler. I like to use U-Pole's Dolphin Glaze. It's the best stuff on the market in my opinion. I'm just piling the glaze in the best I can, and I'll use the spatula to try and smooth it out. No need to be neat about it. This stuff stands very easily. And there you go. It looks like a poorly iced birthday cake, but that's a good first coat. And now that I've sanded it down, you can see we're starting to get somewhere. I'm taking my time and concentrating on blending body lines. A few more coats and we're real close. On the body, it almost looks like it could have been a factory option. It took a good bit of filler and sanding to get the front molded how I like it, but I think it turned out pretty good. The most important part when doing this kind of work is to take your time. Use a thin coat of filler and sand, and then use a thin coat of filler and sand, and then use a thin coat of filler and sand. You get the idea. The most important part is take your time, and in the end, you'll be happy with the finished product. There's one last thing I want to do before we move on, and that's give it a coat of filler primer. The primer will reveal all those minor imperfections we're going to need to take care of before we paint. Painting is way down the road yet. We've still got to rebuild the fenders, shave and smooth everything, cut the doors, cut the rear hatch, but the hood is a good start. And now we've got to take a quick break to pay the bills, but don't go anywhere. Frank's got a new project he's working on, and I really don't think you want to miss it. It's been getting busier and busier around the shop, and we're starting to have jobs stack up. And against my better judgment, I think I'm gonna have to hand the Samurai project off to Frank, but I'll keep a close eye on how he's doing. Shake it off, buddy. That's what those steel toes I bought you are for. What you doing there, Frank?
I need you.
Come again?
You need me.
I'm gonna need you to put the mic down, the wrench down, and get back to work. You know you're on the clock, right?
Let's explore this thing you do to me.
I don't think so. Got a problem there, Frank? Think about it. There you go, you put it all in backwards. That should work a little better for you. Come on, Frank!
You got me. You got me. I just wanna know who you are. How'd you do this to me? I gotta get more
Frank.
into you.
Frank! Frank! Frank!
You got me.
I'm out. Can somebody please tell me when he's done doing whatever that is he's doing, and then we'll take a look at the Samurai?
I need you. I wanna get more. I wanna get, yeah. I wanna get more. I wanna get, I gotta get more into you.
Is he done? Are you sure there's no more singing? Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got done today. We made hood clearance for the V8 motor in the Grinch project, and despite his shenanigans, Frank made decent progress on the Samurai project. I've got link materials that should be coming in later today, and we can use those to square up the front end of the Grinch and to get the wheelbase right on the Samurai project. But that's all gonna have to wait till next time because we're out of time, and I've gotta go find out where Frank took those singing lessons because he really wasn't that bad.